McAfee and John Nichols and some other guys heard about this company that was in bankruptcy. It was headquartered in Hawaii. McAfee figured out that they owned a lot of land. So they bought this company out of bankruptcy and sold the land off in pieces. And that's how he got his start of liking to live in Hawaii. And he went to Hawaii a lot. And every time he went to Hawaii, he'd come back with macadamia nuts and would walk around and give them to everybody.
When I was a young associate, Mr. McAfee had already retired, but he would come back from where he lived, which is in Hawaii. And because of his love for the firm, he wanted to get to know not only the attorneys, but anyone that had started with the firm, and those that had been there for a while, he wanted to catch up with them. So his icebreaker was he would walk around with this sack, and he had cans of macadamia nuts. He would come in your office, he'd introduce himself. If you'd never met him before, he would open up the can of macadamia nuts, he'd slide it over to you and say, okay, tell me about you. Are you married? When did you start? Tell me where you grew up. And you just had a wonderful conversation with one of the founders as if you were an important aspect of that, and to him you were. So he did that for as long as I can remember, and I really enjoyed the first year because it was the first time I got to talk to him, but his ability to comprehend and remember, so the next year when he would come back in with his macadamia nuts, we would pick up from where we left off, and it was a treasure.
What I remember most about him, Mr. McAfee would go to Hawaii for long periods of vacation, and he would come home and he would always bring back something for everyone. And he would come into your office and he would put a jar of macadamia nuts and give it to you, and we'd always have a very pleasant conversation.
He would come back with pounds and pounds of macadamia nuts, which he was fond of.
Went to Hawaii, brought back everybody macadamia nuts.
He would bring macadamia nut brittle from Hawaii and just come around and talk with the lawyers.
After a trip to Hawaii, he brought back and gave each of us a can of macadamia nuts. I remember him passing them out to everyone in the firm. And just, it was so inclusive. I mean, it was such a sweet thing for him to do, but that was the kind of person he was.